Richard! Richard, help!
Shawn,
Yeah, it's me!
why are you in a sewer?
I was looking for the turtles.
You were as pathetic as you are sad. Now listen to this, because it's a Pod Bros exclusive. I'll go get a ladder. What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we're speaking the language of romance. What if you're dead?
What if I'm dead?
What if you're dead? What if you died, like, right now?
Is this a podcast, like, about the Sixth Sense? Like, instead of seeing dead people, you hear dead people?
I hear dead people. Does that mean I'm Haley Joel Osment?
Yeah, I'm Bruce Willis. So what do you mean, like, if I'm dead right now? So, like, I'm a ghost. This is a ghost podcast.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you something. This is something that I learned today. This is called it's a bit of quantum mechanics. All right, so we're gonna drop some physics on you. We're gonna drop knowledge bomb. All right, that's what's happening.
I was gonna say, and we're PhDs in this, right? Is that what we're
right.
going with? Okay.
In a parallel universe, we are. All right, so there's this thing that I read about called the quantum suicide theory. And apparently what this theory is that all those times, remember when you were a kid and you were like, you know, riding your bike and you're riding down the street and you stopped at the corner, okay? And you're looking both ways, and then you start to go, and then the car comes out of absolutely nowhere and barely clips the front of your wheel. And you're like, holy crap, I didn't even see that car. I could have died.
That time I was driving my car, driving along, going, just driving along. The family kids are in the back seat going, Mom, I gotta pee. And then, or is that from a different movie? Woo! In comes the meat wagon.
Corner comes out, he's like, oh my God.
You guys in the back puking.
All because you wanted to save a couple of bucks.
All right, boy. So yeah, I mean, there's been times in my life where, like, I'm riding a bike. I remember one time specifically, we were riding a bike down a big hill with the family, and, like, all of a sudden, like, I don't know what happened, but, like, I kind of flew off the side of the hill onto, like, those culverts where, like, creeks and stuff run through.
Yeah.
Like, I remember kind of falling into that, and, like, I feel like I'd passed out and woke up, like, how the hell did I end up down here? And that's probably one of those situations, like, man, maybe I shouldn't be alive right now.
Yeah. Like,
so that kind of scenario.
I'm sure we've all had them. I mean, maybe not all of us, but I'm sure a vast majority of us have had those close calls where we're, like, holy crap, if that would have gone the other way, I don't know what could have happened. So what the quantum suicide theory states is that you actually did die. So that time you're riding and you fell in the creek and you passed out, yeah, you died. You were dead.
So where'd I go then?
You ceased to be. You were an ex-person.
So in that story, you and I never meet.
Correct.
This podcast doesn't come to exist wherever that's at.
Right. This is very true. And what a sad, sad universe that is. So what this theory says is that you died in that creek, but your consciousness shifted into a parallel universe. Another universe that's extremely similar to ours. And in that moment before death, you shifted into that new universe, and in the new universe that you're now in, you didn't die. You narrowly escaped by the skin of your teeth, and by some odd form of luck, you made it.
So are these universes, like, I guess they are parallel universes, so they're running side by side. You know, the same things are happening. But in that story, in one, I fall off the creek and die. So everybody in that universe continues on with me not being there. But I shift into this new one where I go and I meet Richard and we start Language of Bromance.
Yes, and that's the universe that I want to live in.
That's the best universe, if you ask me.
You know what else is good? America.
Yeah.
That's an America universe.
The best universe in the world.
I'm gonna shift to the universe where I'm like riding in the back of a pickup truck with cans of Pabst Blue Ribbon in my hand. Like, woo! Freedom, baby!
Yeah, it's funny because you brought this theory to me, and I've had these thoughts before, and I don't know what's creepier is that like my thoughts is actually there's other people who have put like theory behind it. But I mean, I've had those thoughts. It's like you have those close things that happen, or like especially if you have somebody in your family pass away, you're like, what if there's a universe where they continue on, or I
Yeah.
continue on? There's a universe where my parents are mourning their son who died in a creek. Only to only to mourn their son in this other universe because he created a podcast.
In both universes, your parents still mourn. It's just it's for different reasons.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, I know he's gonna come out of the closet someday. Him and Richard are gonna say I do, and I guess we still kind of love him, but
On Wikipedia, they list it as a thought experiment, like Schrodinger's cat. And for people that don't know what Schrodinger's cat is, or if you're, if you haven't watched The Big Bang Theory, I mean, it's on there. But Schrodinger's cat is it's a thought experiment. Basically, you put a cat inside a box and you tape the box shut, and then you can theoretically say that the cat is both alive and dead because you don't know until you open the box. So the cat exists within the state of life and death because of your lack of knowledge of the situation.
so that kind of goes with like if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, doesn't make a sound.
Exactly.
Hmm.
What if you died and your consciousness is in another, and your consciousness shifts to a new universe where you don't die and you manage to somehow narrowly escape?
Well, and you bring that up, so you're going to continually not die. So when you get to be a certain age, you're gonna you know pass on from what we consider old age. What happens at that point?
No, apparently you keep going until you're considered, like a super old person like Methuselah or a vampire.
Oh,
We eventually
You-
all become vampires.
I like it. Old wrinkly vampires.
But see, I would think that we'll go to a universe, in this universe, we will be the only vampire because everything else is normal.
So when you get to that point, is it just that like everybody's that old? So do they come to the realization that that's what it is? Because I mean, at some point you're going to
Well,
get to
no,
where
because
like,
you're not everybody else. So everybody else to you, they get older, they die, they fade away because we're talking about your reality.
so when I get to that point, there's still going to be young people around, or am I going to be in a world where there's just people? Because that's this part that's kind of weird because when you get to be 80 and die, you're going to basically keep going in that parallel universe where there's still all your family members.
Yeah.
Or do they die too? Or do you think they die?
Yeah, they
at some
all
point?
die. They all die because they're not you. You're the
I have a
only
headache
one.
now.
You're the only one, by your perception, you're the only one that's going to continue on forever.
That's sad.
Yeah.
So so in your reality, you are just an old vampire.
Yeah. Like old Dracula in the oh shit. I'm trying to think which movie. I want to say the 93 Bram Stoker one where he's like super old and he has that like B-52 hair, like the big beehive kind of hair.
Yeah.
And then I can invite Keanu Reeves to my house.
What?
And then a harem of women will, have their way with him until I shoo them away with my evil face. But here's the thing. If I constantly shift universes and then I become super old, obviously I realize that I'm the super old one.
I would
So
think, yeah, at some point, I think you would have to kind of like something's going to seem off.
you'd have to be like, why the hell am I the only person not dying? Like, you would have to ask that question to yourself at some point, right?
I would think so. I mean, because what's the oldest person right now in the world? Like 110. So
I want to say, like, in the one teens, over 100. I'm gonna say between like 110 and 115. I don't honestly know. Might be 118. Who knows? We'll say between 110 and 120.
yeah, I wonder if it's just. I want to be in the place though where like you never grow old. Uh, you never die.
Like the Lost Boys.
Yeah, but you have to feed. That's what I was going for.
But you must feed.
I need to watch that movie. I'm not a big Joel Schumacher fan, but I don't know. That movie always played to my. I don't know. I always really enjoyed it.
It's because they had the Coreys.
It did have the Coreys.
You gotta
That's
love a movie with the Coreys.
Such an '80s movie.
It is such an 80s movie. I made all my kids watch it.
But yeah, just think if you keep shifting though, you can watch that for hundreds of years.
But okay. So the point I was gonna make was, if I realize that I'm immortal, then does that mean I get cool vampire powers?
Is that what it takes? So, like the people that are like considered vampires in our reality right now, they've realized this. Can we become vampires?
That's what I'm saying.
If we try really hard, can we be vampires?
If we just, it's like
if we just believe.
It is like the Lost Boys. It is like the Lost Boys because you have the pixie dust, and then it's like just think a wonderful thought, and then you fly.
Yeah.
So all we have to do is just think hard enough that we're vampires, and then we'll be vampires. You know what it's like? It's like the Matrix, but with vampires.
Yeah. You know what's going to happen is we're going to think this really, really hard tonight and be like, fuck, it didn't work. And we're going to both get up in the morning, walk out in the sun and be like, it burns.
But see, no, it'll be fine because then we'll shift to another universe and we'll be totally okay.
We're going to call each other and be like, all right, well, this is the next episode. It's like, Rich, did you burn and die? Yeah. Did you? Yeah. Sweet. We're vampires.
Woo! We made it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, you told me about this, and I always had these thoughts about this, and it's just you brought it up, and it just kind of blew my mind that there's something out there, that there's this theory that it actually exists, and all this stuff is really interesting because there's like no way to really prove it's not real, or not possible, but it's just kind of cool that. I don't know, it's just kind of cool that something like that's out there, I guess, or that we have, as humans, we have the capability to think of these weird things. It's like my dog and cat, they don't give a fuck. They just want to eat and sleep and poo. But, we have the time to think of these things.
Right. That's what separates us from them. That's why we have tools and we build buildings and drive cars and drink coffee.
And try
Red Bulls.
To pretend to be vampires.
and PBR. Be hillbilly vampires.
Woo!
It'd be Pabst Blood Ribbon.
Huh?
Oh.
Have to get in the market for that True Blood already. What's your favorite vampire movie?
Favorite vampire movie? Lost Boys was good. 30 Days a Night was really good.
Yeah, that was a good one.
30 Days a Night kind of brought it back for me. 30 Days a Night for me kind of made vampires scary again because like I don't know, maybe it was the 90s or whatever, but it seemed like there was a string of movies where vampires were made to be cool and sexy. Especially once you had like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, cuz then you had Angel, you had Spike, there was that 93 Dracula movie. Gary Oldman was Dracula in that, and he was, supposed to be like wooing Winona Ryder. I want to say there was at least a bunch more where vampires were kind of meant to be like these like super sexy, like suave, debonair, cool guys. vampires were supposed to be the guys that I wanted to be when I was in high school.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of the dark brooding because whenever you think of like scary vampires from Buffy and Angel, I always think of the Master because I mean he was scary because he was just a super powerful vampire that killed for no other reasons than the feed and everything, and he was super
He
old.
was. He was awesome. Oh, here you go. Fun factoid because I'm geeky and I know these things. The guy that played the Master in Buffy, he was in a music video. He was in two music videos. I think he was in both. He was in Twisted Sisters, We're Not Gonna Take It, and I Wanna Rock. He
Oh,
was
really?
he played the old teacher that, like, in the beginning of the video, he looks at the guy and he's like, "What do you wanna do with your life?"
Oh,
And
I
then they're
didn't
like, "I
realize
wanna
that.
rock. That was the Master.
I did not realize that. Is I always liked how in Buffy how they kind of always alluded back to him in different things. Like there was the alternate dimension episode where it could follow this because Xander and them die and they go to this alternate reality. The Master died; he went to this alternate reality.
Yeah, there you go.
But I like how they always brought him back in spurts. Because there's the one at the very end when the first came back and
Oh yeah, the first episode of season 7.
yeah, they have him in there. Yeah.
You kind of see him for like a little 10-second blip.
They brought back the teacher too from the first season, or what season was that where Angel killed Giles' girlfriend? Is that season
That was
2?
2. That was
Okay,
2.
because they bring her back.
So yeah, parallel universes. I'm down for. I mean, to me, the concept of a parallel universe doesn't really seem that far fetched to me. Like there's another universe that exists outside our time and space that's extraordinarily similar. Alternate realities and things like that. I mean, our ability to shift from one reality to the next. I mean, who knows? But I mean, I'm all for believing that not only I could totally see how they would exist.
Well, I mean, anything's possible. I mean, we talk about you know Loch Ness monsters and Bigfoots. I mean, aliens. I mean, it's really hard to tell. I mean, there's always the theory that there's an Earth on the other side of the sun and that we're following each other. And that's why we never see it.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, have you
You know,
never
I
heard
bet's
about that?
on there. Dinosaurs.
Oh, could you imagine if you fly over there
There's
and
a whole
like
planet full of dinosaurs.
yeah, you get to go on that and just hunt dinosaurs all day.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! Oh my god! No! What would happen is that the dinosaurs because the asteroid hit this Earth and destroyed all the dinosaurs, but they didn't destroy the dinosaurs over there. So the dinosaurs have had 65 million billion years to evolve.
Did you just describe the plot of the Super Mario movie?
Maybe. So then those dinosaurs build spaceships because their technology is far more advanced because they've had more time to develop it.
What would be more fucked up if the typical aliens land on Earth and walk out, or you see the spaceship land and a fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex comes out with a spacesuit?
Oh, that's so awesome.
Run!
Yeah, because
That's what-
they're like, you have like the president standing out there, be like, we come in peace, and then fucking T-Rex, it'd be like Jurassic Park with aliens, but they're aliens.
That's your real Jurassic World there, bitches.
Oh my god. That would be the first movie, it would be alien dinosaurs come to Earth and try and take it over, and we take it out. We stop the invasion. Basically like Independence Day, but with dinosaurs. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so the second movie would be called Jurassic World because we would go and take the fight to them.
We figure out where they came from. We get in their spaceship. They got GPS, and we fly over there. And
Be like, you know what that planet needs? A little bit of freedom.
wonder what oh man, what would be like the leader dinosaur over there? Do you think it'd be the T-Rex?
I don't
Or would
know.
there be
See,
like
after Jurassic Park, you had the raptors, and apparently they were super smart.
yeah, and so maybe the velociraptors are kind of like the good guys kind of. So when you land on there, like you crash land and you're like, "Oh, I got to hide." And all
Yeah.
of a sudden this velociraptor pokes its head and it's like, "Come with me if you want to live." uh Go and it saves you. Grab my hand.
Thank you, Velociraptor Man. Om nom nom nom. He's like, give me a finger. You have no money. You do not know of our currency. You must pay in blood. You have to give up like a pinky. Om nom nom nom.
I wonder what the currency would be on Dinosaur World.
I don't know. Eggs?
Eggs, maybe.
Dinosaurs, Do you think dinosaurs would eat their own eggs? They'd like make like if you go into like a diner and there's dinosaurs like making breakfast, do you think they'd use eggs?
Not their eggs, I wouldn't think. I mean, like, what if humans laid eggs? Do you think we'd eat human eggs? Like, I wouldn't think so. If they were highly intelligent like that, I don't think they would.
I don't know.
Um,
I always hear those stories about women that like save their placenta and then eat it later. You're welcome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard about that. I've seen, or
Yeah.
I've
Let that image swim
gazed.
around for a minute.
I've gazed pictures where they show like the husband cooking the placenta on the grill, and that's yeah, dry heaving all over the place. That's just disgusting. Like
I've had
I'm
three.
pretty.
You know what? Like I've had 3 kids. Never, not once, had any sort of desire to do anything with anything.
Did you? This is kind of a personal question. I wouldn't be able to do this, but did you watch what happened down there, or did you stay above ground?
No. I was by her head.
Okay. So no curiosity to be like.
There was like a little curtain, and I remember at one point I looked over the little curtain, and I don't remember what I said. I was like, "Oh, I can see." I don't remember what. I was like, "I can see blah blah blah," and she's just like, "Shut up, shut up, shut up, stop talking."
Yeah, I don't have any desire to see how anything looks when that happens. So like, I'm not the person that could be like, "Oh, hey, let's eat the placenta now too."
I remember we did the like the class, like the labor, you learn how to breathe and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
remember during the class they showed a video that showed the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiffany told me that she watched. I think it's called "The Price of Childbirth" or the
It's
cost of childbirth.
everything. Yeah, it's everything you can imagine.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I'll pass. Because I'd be the guy like, oh, I can see the Shawn. Somebody pick my husband up off the floor. What happened, babe? We had a baby about a day ago. Congratulations. Pass out again.
You want the placenta? Oh God.
Oh, could you imagine the smell though of cooking something like that? Like I wouldn't imagine it would smell good.
I really don't want to. And I mean, I know this is my fault, but I'm sorry I took us on this tangent. I want to go back to the dinosaurs.
The dinosaurs eating the eggs. That's more not disgusting. I don't know. I mean, I guess going back to that, I mean, they'd probably eat like other dinosaurs as eggs. But I don't know. I mean, I guess that wouldn't really be cannibalism, but I mean, wouldn't scavenger type dinosaurs if they came across eggs from
I
another
don't know.
dinosaur?
It's just like sometimes like I make like chicken parmesan, and one of the ways I make it is I beat it. I beat out the chicken breast, and then I coat it in flour, and then I coat it in eggs, and then I coat it in other stuff. And in my mind, I'm thinking that I am bathing this chicken breast in its own young. And then I'm like, that is the most metal thing I can do. This is the most metal thing I can eat right now. I'm like, this chicken has been bathed in the blood of its own young. That's so fucking metal.
Mom, Dad's yelling at the chicken again.
It's okay, baby. He thinks it's metal. I don't even know what that means. But yeah, like alien dinosaurs. Their spaceships would have to be huge because they're huge.
Fucking yeah. I mean, T-Rexes are like 20 feet tall. So, I mean, comfortably, it'd have to be, skyscraper size, wouldn't it? Could you imagine a skyscraper landing in, like, the States?
Yeah.
Just...
See, I'm totally picturing this giant spaceship lands, and then, like, the door, like, opens up, and all of a sudden, like, a T-Rex, like, stomps up.
I imagine it with, like, the big globed head. Little bitty arms.
It's in this spacesuit with little arms and then like a fishbowl on its head.
He tries to shut the door, but it got too high, so he can't reach it and pull it down. Fuck it, I'll get it later.
And the president's like, we come in peace, and holds out his hand to shake it, and the T-Rex is like, fuck you.
Well, what happens?
That's just rude. That's rude.
But we didn't even think about this part. So, like, if he's the only one on the ship, he wouldn't be able to get his own helmet off. So he's chasing people around. He's so hungry, but he can't get his helmet off to eat anybody.
He's smacking it into buildings.
Oh shit, that'd be hilarious.
Please, so hungry.
He passes out. Kids are coming over and sitting on the helmet,
like
getting
it's
pictures.
Fogging, like the inside of the fishbowl's fogging up.
He's licking at the people through the fishbowl because he's so hungry.
Why didn't we think ahead?
Humans are dicks, so they just cut a hole and put a straw in. It's like, here, you can eat this.
Damn these shoddy invasion plans.
Abort! Abort!
So yeah, parallel universe.
Yeah, parallel universe with dinosaurs.
Right. I'm sure there's a parallel universe where dinosaurs didn't die.
That'd be interesting. It's like, what's that big ball in the sky? Oh, nothing. Oh, okay, cool. Well, let's go eat.
No, it'd be like that Robot Chicken sketch where they build a rocket to fly to, like, detonate it like Armageddon, and they actually pull it off.
That's how.
And
they
then there's
survive.
like an Aerosmith dinosaur band that's like, don't wanna close my eyes.
There's a Bruce Willis version. That just,
and then they get done singing and nobody claps because they can't.
What dinosaur could clap? I don't know if there is one. Is there? Evolution didn't really think that one through, did they?
No. Like they couldn't clap, they couldn't like wring their hands and like maniacal anything. They couldn't be like mwahaha.
They could tap with their claws though, I guess. So that might be something.
I mean, they're still evil because they could just open their mouth and eat your face, but
that's true. So what do you think what would happen if humans couldn't, like, if they had like dinosaur-sized hands? What do you think that world would be like?
I don't think any of us would jerk off.
Well, no.
That's dangerous.
Did you just try to reach with small hands? Because I did, and I couldn't reach. Yeah, I'd just be angry.
I did it wearing Hulk hands once. Does that count?
You what?
Like those Hulk power gloves, you know? Does that count? Don't
yeah,
tell my son.
So, so I was just thinking of a time when I probably died, and the time I can think of is I went to see a movie on a Thursday night that I was super, super excited about. And and about halfway through, I must have cut myself with a straw, like, just ended it. And that movie was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh.
Now,
Which okay, like you're still doing okay. Like you've moved on, you've kind of like made your peace, you've buried it.
yeah, I've kind of forgot about it. It's one of those that
If it makes you feel better, in one parallel universe, that movie was awesome and everything you hoped it would be. And in another universe, it never got made at all.
yeah. So I'm in the middle ground where either it could have not been made, I guess. But
Yeah.
so we got some new news. I don't know if anybody's heard about this, but um, they've casted Casey Jones, which I'm a big fan of Casey Jones. I think he's an awesome character. And the person they cast, I think, is an awesome actor. He's from the TV show Arrow, Stephen Amell, which I don't know how much Arrow. Have you watched much of that?
I have not. I Arrow is on the list of shows that I need to start watching and consistently watch. My problem is I have there's too much going on in my world that I can't, like, this shit just builds up. Like you've got Arrow. Okay, Arrow's on my list of shows to watch. Better Call Saul, that's another one because I was huge on Breaking Bad. I have not seen any of Better Call Saul. I need to do that. You're gonna have Daredevil out on Netflix soon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to binge watch that, and it's not bearing well for me.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of this season of Arrow. I'll probably try to do like a binge watch when it comes out on Netflix or Amazon, but the first two seasons I've seen it, he's done a really good job. I mean, in the show he plays kind of a darker vigilante, which if they take that route with Casey Jones, I think it'll work. Because in the new comic books, that's kind of how Casey Jones is. Like his dad is super abusive to him. Like in the first two or three issues, he's just getting the shit beat out of him by his dad.
Yeah, see, I don't know much on the whole Casey Jones backstory. The extent to which I know about Casey Jones is from the 90s cartoon and the 90s live action movie. In both, well, in the cartoon he came off as a guy that was, you know, willing to help the turtles and everything, but he seemed not quite right. Like he seemed a little slow. He
Yeah, I
seemed
know.
crazy.
Yeah, well, and they say in the cartoon, he never took his mask off. And there's an episode where he goes like incognito and he's wearing like a business suit, but he still has
Right.
his hockey mask on.
I remember that. Yes.
But in the new comic book series, they really dive into his backstory a lot more. So he's a guy who his dad's very abusive, but he doesn't fight back against his dad because his mom died of cancer or something like that. And so what he does is he goes out at night and is a vigilante. That's how he like basically gets all of his rage out and he tries to do good.
Okay.
So I'm curious. We've talked about it in the previous a couple episodes ago when we talked about the Turtles movie that I thought they were going to try and take it towards where the new comic book is going. So if they bring him in and try to do something like that, then I think it'll work. What makes me super nervous? There's two things that make me nervous. One, they're calling the new movie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Half Shell, which is kind of corny, I guess.
It sounds corny. Like you said that to me, and I'm like, what does that mean? I mean, I understand, they're the heroes in the half shell, but I don't understand like why put that in there.
Well, yeah, it's like they're saying, "Oh, well, the Dark Knight." It's like, well, that works a little bit better than Half Shell.
Plus, yeah, it just sounds cooler. The Dark Knight.
Yeah, versus Half Shell. It's like, doesn't really work. But the other thing that makes me nervous is I don't think you've seen the new movie, right?
I have not.
Okay. So, I mean, we've talked about how Megan Fox did just a horrible, horrible job.
Yeah.
So the other reason that they said he got this Casey Jones part is because of the chemistry that him and Megan Fox had. And I
Oh.
don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. Because it seems
Yeah.
to me if that's they're like, oh yeah, that's perfect. That's telling me that this is basically going to be the April O'Neil 2 movie, not the Turtles 2 movie.
Well, also like in the old live action movie, like Casey Jones and April like kind of had like a thing.
Yeah, and most incarnations of the Turtles, they usually have some sort of like connection.
Okay. They usually like get it on and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't-
I'm
yeah.
not taking my mask off.
Let me score in your 5-hole, baby.
Don't touch my face.
Who's your favorite turtle? Call me Donnie. So I don't know. I
And
mean,
then she's all super into it. She's like, "No, I like it with the mask on. Look at me angry. Now look at me happy. Oh, it looks the same. It's awesome." You know what? Here's a good joke. I bet that mask, that hockey mask, emotes better than Megan Fox's character in the entire movie.
I could go for that. The Mask is the better actor of the whole TV
Boom!
show. Oh my god, she's such a terrible actress.
That's how you slam a girl.
But Megan, if you want to be on our podcast, just contact us at Eat the Beaver.
I think you're wonderful if you want to be a guest. No, you never ever will be.
Oh my god, they're turtles.
And
They're
I've totally made my
ninjas.
I've made my peace with the thought that Megan Fox would not be on this show.
I'm still holding out hope. I'm sure
It
she's
took
a listener.
time. You know, I had to watch a couple Transformers movies, but
Oh Jesus. Somebody did bring up an interesting question, like, because you heard Fast and the Furious has done like really, really well, right?
yes, yeah,
Like
it's done very well at the box office.
the question was asked, it's like, so why is Fast and the Furious, which is a Michael Bay type of movie with lots of explosions and not very good plot, why is that movie held to like such high esteem, but Michael Bay movies are always like just shit on?
I would put it to the fact that you take a movie like Fast and Furious, like that movie, it's not about the acting and it's not about, it's not about the performance of the actors. Although I mean, while I'm saying it's not about these things still need to be somewhat stable. Like the Fast and Furious movies it's not about the performance of Vin Diesel. Although Vin Diesel still has to give a semi-decent performance, otherwise people are like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. You don't really go to that movie looking for a plot. You go for the cars and everything.
Right, and that's the thing, is you're going to look at cars, you're going to look at explosions, and you're going to look at crazy shit. Now, like with Transformers, like I think that he was I think that he was thinking that people were going to see giant robots beat the shit out of each other. The thing I think he doesn't realize or didn't realize fully was that there was like an established kind of fan base with it, and there was also like a backstory and a lore and there's a universe. There's a Transformers universe that some people were upset that wasn't completely adhered to.
Well, I think it falls into like what the Turtles did, is it's not about the actual characters, the Turtles or the Transformers. It's about their human counterparts. It becomes their show with these things in the background.
Right.
It's about Shia LaBeouf and all the things he's going through. Shia LaBeouf. And and the
I feel like we should have a
Transformers are just
button for
there.
that. Shalalaboof.
Have you seen that? You need to look for that video. It's it's basically like this play thing going on, and it's about Shia LaBeouf, like chasing this guy through the woods and trying to kill him. It's pretty funny. And so all these characters on stage have these big heads of Shia LaBeouf. And so what's gonna happen now is anybody that listens to this podcast, whenever you hear that name, I won't say it again so I don't annoy people, but that's what you're gonna do because that's what I do now. Like I'll be driving and somebody's like, "Oh, the new movie with so and so," and I just go so and so in that voice. So it's ingrained in my head now.
Now, yeah, it is in mine too. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
I plan on passing that around like AIDS.
But yeah, I think like I just don't understand stuff like that. Like you take these things. It'd be like going like, let's take the story of oh fuck. I guess that's gonna be like the story of Noah or the story of any of these established stories and not following the guidelines. But I guess that's what everything does when I think about it.
Yeah, like when did yeah, I think the point you're trying to make is when did the original story become boring? Like why can't the original story be what it is?
Yeah, and you can make tweaks. I mean, like the Turtles comic book did a really cool thing, but it stayed pretty much on the same path as the original. Um, but I guess it's just like they don't like take the time to figure out like these big plot pieces of like, Shredder and Splinter, they have this, deep hatred because they're both part of the Foot somehow, or they both have this connection. It's very much a, like Darth Vader versus Han Solo, or not Han Solo, whoever's, you'd consider Darth Vader's big enemy, his big combatant. That's what Shredder and Splinter are, but they just kind of throw that to the side and it's like, meh, story that isn't like the,
Can you
actual
not say
story.
Luke Skywalker?
I
You
can't because
couldn't
you picked him number 2 in a draft that he shouldn't have been picked number 2 in. No, I wasn't sure if
whatever.
you would consider. I wasn't sure if you consider Luke
You say
Skywalker.
Darth Vader and that guy that Darth Vader fights who looks an awful lot like Mark Hamill.
Well, I wasn't sure if it would be him, would be his considered like his arch enemy, or if he'd consider Obi-Wan, or who would you say Luke was Darth Vader's biggest enemy? Or would you say the Emperor? See, there's so many things you could say for Darth Vader that his
They
biggest
fought
enemy
him in
was.
all three movies. In the in the New Hope, like Vader's shooting at his fucking ship, and then in Empire and Return of the Jedi, they fight. They lightsaber duel. He cuts off his damn hand. Cuts off his hand.
So how would you feel if Michael Bay redid the Star Wars movies?
Well, that wouldn't happen, so I don't need to visit that scenario. And I almost hate you for trying to make me go there.
I'm gonna start a petition
because we don't need to go there.
I guess I did hear that the new trailer for Star Wars is supposed to be coming out in front of Avengers.
Yes, it is. There will be a Star Wars trailer preceding Avengers Age of Ultron, which they just recently released the last TV kind of spot for a week ago or a couple weeks ago, which I watched in its entirety. I am kind of waiting to see. I'm not caught up on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm curious to see how they're going to tie it in because it seems like they're going to. I mean, how can they not,
Yeah, that's what I haven't really watched much of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at all, but yeah, that's what you were kind of always saying, that they look like they're going to tie that into it. And you said they're even looking like even further out too, right? They're kind of setting up movies that haven't even been started yet.
Yeah, I mean, they've already by like January, they already set up the Inhumans, which is a movie they're not coming out with until like late 2016.
Okay.
And I mean, they already kind of like set kind of plot hooks or kind of planted the seeds for that movie.
I wonder
So
how
if they're
much
already doing that, I'm like, well, what the fuck are they going to have for for Avengers? Because like the way they tied it into Captain America was so seamless. I'm kind of like, I guess I'm hoping for lightning to strike twice. I don't know.
Are you going to try and be all caught up by May 1st?
Am I going to try and be caught up before I watch it or before I go to the Avengers?
Yeah.
I'm going to try to. Again, it's one of those things that like I'm like, I'll just put it in the list of shows I have to watch. I still got to watch Arrow. and Better Call Saul, and then there's The Flash.
Did you even get through
I
The
did
Walking
catch the
Dead?
clip with Mark Hamill as the
Okay.
trickster.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, Walking Dead. I'm like half a season behind on Walking Dead.
It's like, what do you do all day, man?
I know, right? I have all this time.
Yeah, I've kind of given up that battle. I tried picking up 12 Monkeys. We talked about that for a bit. And like I got through 3 episodes. It was really good, but it's just finding the time to sit down to watch that stuff. Just I don't know. We've talked about that
Exactly.
numerous times.
Does it almost get to that point where I mean, for me, it just gets to that point where I'm just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm done. I can't do it. I can't.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's like it doesn't hurt anymore. I'm just like, I don't. I'll just be culturally stupid for the rest of my life.
Well, I feel like that's a thing when you get older. Like, unless you do something that pushes you to do like watch that stuff, especially in this day and age. Like when you were younger, you had to watch those things because you're going to get spoiled the next day at school. But like where I'm at,
this is true.
because where I'm at in life, there's nobody that watches this stuff, so nobody's going to spoil it for me. And there's nobody going like, "Oh, did you see the episode last night?" I'll be like, "No,"
Yeah.
and they'll be like, "Oh, me either. I was, busy with other stuff." I'm like, all right,
And
cool.
also, like, we're coming up on Game of Thrones. That's coming up soon. I feel like if there's something I need to watch, I feel like it should be that, because it seems like that's the show that people will be like. It seems so far I've noticed it seems like Game of Thrones is the show that the next day people are like, "Oh my god, did you watch Game of Thrones last night?" And then you have to be like, "No, I missed it." And they're like, "Oh, well, I can't talk to you then for the entire day because that's all I'm thinking about." And you are no longer culturally relevant to me, and so I must ostracize you.
Well, Yahoo, like even news articles and stuff are real bad about it. Like they're like, "Guess who died on this week's?" And they show a picture of the person who died dying. You're like, "Fuck. Well, thanks for spoiling it for me, asshole." Somebody was telling me about one of the big events. He's like, "Yeah," because he watches it when it comes out on Blu-ray. And he's like, "Yeah, I would think that if you're gonna say like a big spoiler, you wouldn't have the spoiler in the header of the article. Like you
Yeah.
wouldn't have that as the link."
Yeah, that's the thing, is like they'll put it in like the headline, and then the very first paragraph it'll say, "Warning, spoilers ahead." And you're like, you already fucked it up.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Are there any shows that you are like? Before, I used to hate spoilers, but I'm kind of at the point now, and I don't know if it's just because, like, with Walking Dead and Game of Thrones, I've read the comic and the books. The box.
All right,
So I don't know.
box. Put your
So I don't know.
fucking pipe down, all right? Oh, hello.
Like-
I didn't see you there. I was busy finishing the Song of Fire and Ice series.
I'm a little more cultured than you.
What did you do? Watch the show?
So I don't know if that just kind of, since those are the two big shows that I watch, it's like, well, I don't care if I get spoiled because I kind of have an idea. Or if it's just that I get older, that I'm just like, I don't really care if I find out. I mean, if you tell me, you tell me. If you don't, who cares? I'll figure it out.
Right. I mean, see here's you bring up another point. Like when I was a kid, I remember they came out with a cartoon movie of The Hobbit. Like it was an animated kind of feature, and it had the whole Hobbit story on there.
That was like the Shadow one, wasn't it? Like they did it with
I would like to point out that they did the entire Hobbit thing in one movie, but that's neither here nor there. But I remember, like, I had some friends, or there were some kids at school that were like, "Oh yeah, we saw that Hobbit cartoon movie. That was kind of cool." And then I'm like, "Yeah, I read the book, and in the book there was this that happened and this that happened." And people are like, "Nerd!" And then they kick the shit out of me. And now I'm like, "Hey, I watched this movie," and then people are like, "Yeah, well, we read the book, you uncultured piece of shit." And I'm just like, I can't win.
Son of a bitch.
When did the paradigm shift happen that I wasn't around for? Oh, now it's cool to read books. Great. Thanks for the fucking memo.
Well, that's what happened when you were a kid and you walked in front of that bus. You skipped the reading universe and went to the one that just watches the shows.
That's what happened. I wish I would have died that universe.
It's weird though that
I want to commit quantum suicide.
it's weird that our culture, like I would think our culture now would be more like, screw reading, just, Wikipedia it and then watch the show. But it seems like there's a lot more people that like enjoy reading these big stories first.
I think it's like an elitist thing. Like I think it's, like people want to read the stories because then they feel like more informed. And not only that, but then they can also lord it over their lesser beings that have only
Well,
watched the show.
well, I know I get more when I read and then go see a show about like Gone Girl or something like that, where I read the book and I kind of knew what was going to happen in the movie, so it helped me understand it more.
Okay.
And I wonder if that's just the laziness on the like the not really the writing, but maybe just like the storytelling piece of it, where it's just like, we'll skip over a lot of these important parts because we just got to get this story out there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost like a compendium series. Like you kind of get like an idea, like a deeper idea of the world that you're going to go watch. If that
I
makes
mean,
sense.
there's been lots of things recently, that I read the books and then saw the movie and was kind of like disappointed or whatever. Trying to think of some off. The Harry Potter series I read, and and I will say that the movies were fairly good. I'm not that person that's like, well, I read the books and in the books, blah 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 blah. I won't do that unless someone asks me something specifically.
Yeah. I try
And
not to
then I'm
do
like,
that,
well, in
but
the book, there's this that happens, but whatever. The Dan Brown movies that they made, uh, Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons. I read those and saw the movie way after. This is just my personal opinion. Angels and Demons, I thought was a better book than Da Vinci Code. Da Vinci Code was like the big popular one that sold a lot of copies. Angels and Demons, to me, the story was way cooler. I found the information that one thing with both of those books, there's a lot of extemporaneous information that they give that you don't really need for the story, but it's like these fun little factoid things that I kind of like to know and learn because I'm a nerd, basically.
well, yeah, you get a little bit fuller experience from it. I mean, at least I think
And
you do.
yeah, and I understand why they don't put that, a lot of that stuff in the movies because it just, it serves no purpose to the actual story. But I like it. Maybe this is why I got the shit kicked out of me in high school and why I'm culturally ostracized as an adult.
So did you like keep crying, my precious, as they kicked you in the nuts?
Like, no, it hurts us. Why does it hurt us?
uh, that's how you died in that universe.
Yep. I got the crap beat out of me because I read The Hobbit. Thanks, Obama.
uh, so, uh, so I guess, are there any movies coming out pretty soon that you're excited for? I mean, I know Avengers comes out in about a month or so, but I need a new movie to go see before then. Is there anything?
Before then, I don't know about before then. I'll tell you what, if you're looking for something you really want to watch, go to the video store or go to a Redbox or look it up on Amazon. Check out The Invitation Game.
Okay.
It's the story of Alan Turing. He was a professor that helped crack the Nazi code during World War II. But the best part is Alan Turing is being played by Benedict fucking Cumberbatch.
I thought I heard your boner hit the mic.
It did. That's what
Which
happens when we
he
say the name of Benedict fucking Cumberbatch.
So you're still pretty pumped about him playing Doctor Strange?
I am. I got that's the next Marvel movie that I am really super looking forward to. That's the movie that like I want to see a trailer for, because that's going to give me an idea of like how, like the mood that they're creating for that movie. And
Gotcha.
if I feel like if they're going to make it like this kind of spooky supernatural kind of flick, like not really so much a horror film, like a suspense thriller with a guy that's Doctor Strange in it, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Is that does that come out before or after Civil War?
Um, that comes out, I want to say like November of 2016.
So after, right? Because does Civil War come out next year?
Civil War comes out, yes, next year. Civil War comes out. I think they actually picked the same day that DC is releasing that Batman versus Superman movie, because
Because Marvel
fuck
says
you.
fuck
That's
you.
why.
Before we get into housekeep or anything, but did you see the guy who's playing Aquaman? What he wrote on a poster recently? So it was at a Comic Con or like type thing, and some guy came up with a poster of him, as Aquaman, the release that came out pretty recently. It says like Unite the Seven or whatever.
Oh, okay,
So
yeah.
the kid walks up to him and is like, "Hey, can you sign this? And say something to Marvel or something like that." And so as he's signing it, he writes "fuck Marvel" on it, and then puts his autograph on it. Which he does look pretty badass as Aquaman. I hope they play that up pretty well.
Yeah, he does. I saw the picture. I like all the tats. The tats are cool. Like he's all like tatted up with the hair. It basically looks like, hey, let's take Khal Drago and make him talk to fish, and I'm totally down with that.
It's kind of completely opposite. You have Khal Drago who won't go anywhere near the salt water. Now you have Aquaman who just lives in the salt water.
Yeah. So there you go.
There's some recent stories too I was hearing about I'm kind of curious how they're going to do the whole Batman backstory, because it sounds like they've really, like, the whole history of Batman has happened already. Like they made it sound like Jason Todd was killed by the Joker, similar to Death in the Family. Dick Grayson is already Nightwing. They might bring in the Red Hood as well. So it seems like they're really starting this like super in the future. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to play out.
It almost makes you wonder if they're gonna go with like a Batman, kind of like a Dark Knight Returns era kind of Batman.
That's what it sounds like, but aren't you kind of cutting off, the head of your, your biggest moneymaker by? Because I mean, how long can you draw that out? I mean, 10 years.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, you cast Ben Affleck. I mean, Ben Affleck is, and I mean, I like Ben Affleck. I watched Argo. I've been with him since Mallrats. I like Chasing Amy. I've liked a lot of the stuff he's been in, but I mean, he's not a young guy.
He's in his mid 40s or so.
I have no idea. I mean, I don't think he's as old as they kind of depict Bruce in the whole Dark Knight Returns era kind of thing. I mean, I don't find him to be that old, but I mean, maybe they're going that direction. And if they are, I mean, maybe they're just having maybe they're just going to put out Bruce out there like an old Tony Stark, where he just has a bunch of tech that makes him awesome, and then he's super smart.
And just hangs in the back and lets the Teen Titans type thing, like they try to go that kind of route instead of your typical heroes.
Maybe. I mean, I'm not very old, and you know what? In a parallel universe, I could be Batman. In a parallel universe, I am Batman.
In that universe, you're vampire Batman.
Where's the
Oh,
trigger?
shit. Just brought that all the way around. All right. Well, do you have any Richard's closing thoughts before I do some housekeeping?
Parallel universes are awesome, and if this, this one's to younger people. If there's a kid at school and he's read the books to a movie you like, don't kick his ass. Like, do that for me. Let one of us have a win in the world, and it's not, so far it hasn't been me. So let it be that kid.
That's a touching moment there.
You're welcome.
Well, I'll do a little housekeeping. If you want to visit our website, we're languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter at languageofbro. If you want to email us, send it to eatthebeaver@languageofbromance.com. Like us on Facebook and leave a comment and subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher.
And also, don't forget to check us out on the Pod Bros Network, the best podcast site on the internet.
And it always has been.
Aww. That's it. There we go. We're showing mercy now.
We got threatened by the king of the Pod Bros.
Apparently we can't. Apparently we shouldn't say now.
Well, he's gonna get. Well, I mean, it's just like anything we get set in our ways. So, like anytime someone says "Shia LaBeouf," Shia LaBeouf, we just get stuck in our ways. All right. Well, anything else before I close her out?
No, there never is.
And if you want to get a little inside of the Pod Bros Network, check out the newest the Guy Huddle. I don't know if most of you have seen. We usually say the best podcast site on the internet, and we kind of got into saying now because we had joined, so it was just kind of our little joke. We're not very.
That's how we goad people.
We're not very clever at coming up with new things. But John had some a pretty nice intro for the Guy Huddle. So if you get a chance to check out the newest episode, I'm sorry, no, it wasn't the Guy Huddle. It was Dave's Nerd Compendium, the newest one of those. So give that a check out. But I guess I'll close her out. So that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Shawn,
and I'm Richard,
and I say we eat the beaver.
Sha-la-la-boof.